not going to put any slides up in front of you. I'm just going to, I suppose if you like, talk from the heart for a second. My name's Neil Truffet. I'm the Operations Director with Ownergy. I work with Philip Wolf. And we are an end-to-end provider of renewable energy technologies. We start from the design, advising people what the right way to go, design, installation, management, and just make sure things are going right from into the future. I'm a civil engineer. I've been in the building and construction industry and property world for the last 25 years, and most of that time as a contractor. I've spent a more recent part of my career as a developer and also in the operational side of a very large distribution and storage company, also involved in hotels and the management of hotels. And my experience from the approach that most developers apply to their energy consumption is and has been rather depressing. It's a bit of a fog. Energy consumption, energy basically are just a burden. Energy costs are a burden, and the owner-operators have a greater interest in this because their consumption might be somewhat greater. But nonetheless, it's a very confusing process. Costs are difficult to disseminate, and I suppose at the end of the day, it has been a small part of the overall cost of the business. However, although the energy bills being very complex and so on, they still represent a significant part of if any finance director will say, look at the costs on this business, especially something like a hotel organisation or a storage company, and you could be looking at £1 million in utility costs quite easily. Now, things are going to change, and as Philip has explained, we have the Feed-in-Tariffs now live, and the renewable heat incentive is going to be with us in a year's time. And that is now going to present an amazing opportunity for businesses. The scheme's not being promoted by the government particularly, it's for the industry to pick it up and run with it. And I think part of our mission is to try and help do that. But these tariffs are now offering an amazing opportunity to turn your energy consumption from a burden into an asset and to get you a significant return on investment. And I'll expand on that a little bit more in a second. So, as you've gathered, these payments under the feed-in tariffs, first of all, they are guaranteed for the various periods that apply. It depends on the size of installation you're looking at. The best return is on a small domestic installation, but of course your cost of installation is proportionately higher. The larger the installation, the lower per kilowatt hour your installation cost will come, but it will turn out. But the intention has been to come up with a tariff that is going to reward all people, all organisations, to get a rate of return of investment of at least 8%, probably more like 10%, and in the case of the renewable heat incentive, when that comes along, we're looking at return on investment of near 12%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but you have a look at where you can get that sort of rate of return. It's pretty tough to do at the moment, and all of a sudden it starts to become an interesting proposition from a development point of view, and we'll focus on that again in a second. Now, the more energy you can use on site, the better. So the businesses that will benefit the most will be those who have a high energy consumption during the day, electrical energy in particular. The sun shines during the day. You are saving your import costs, and therefore you are in a better position if you can use, if you're a heavy user of electrical energy and heat energy during the day, and you're going to use the solar power, then your best bet is to go with the solar option. Now, that could apply to laundries, it could apply to offices, it could apply to manufacturing facilities, schools. All of these organisations, all of these places of work are high energy users. They have a fairly small requirement for energy during the evening. So that is a classic case. If you are going to invest in renewable energy technology, there are other benefits apart from the rewards financially. You are going to be able to inspire your staff. It is a good thing to do. Most organizations now have an environmental policy. They are looking to try and do the right thing. You can now do that and not throw money away. You can do that at the same time as you earn significant returns. Now, the scheme is available to all sectors. It's a misconception that this is a scheme that's only there for householders, although it is a very attractive scheme for households. The commercial world can benefit. Manufacturing, I've talked about, offices, landlords, libraries, self-storage facilities, distribution warehouses, transport organisation, the list goes on. Public bodies, they are also eligible to claim the tariffs, and the tariffs are exactly the same for the large organisations as they are for the small guys. The only thing that varies is the size of the installation you're installing. But there are no restrictions. It will apply both to retrofit, if you want to go and refurbish your existing premises. It may be a very good opportunity to, at the same time, to consider renewable energy technologies. You might be re-roofing a warehouse. That's the right time to think about whether or not you can install photovoltaic panels and probably some solar thermal up on the roof. There are different ways of doing it. You can use photovoltaic panels. You can use a single membrane, which has a smaller output, but at the same time it serves two purposes. It generates electricity, and at the same time it waterproofs your roof. Standalone installations, such are the rewards under the tariff scheme, that you can in fact turn these opportunities into an investment opportunity in their own right. You don't have to install this technology on a building. You can find a piece of land. You can create a solar park, as we've just been hearing about. You can even go and rent someone else's roof, someone else's piece of land, pay them a premium. You can pay them even in free electricity, and you can invest in renewable energy technology on a building that doesn't even belong to you. You might be the tenant. Now, this is a piece of technology. This is a piece of legislation, sorry, that is not necessarily going to excite every landlord. After all, why should he worry about energy costs? It's his tenant's problem. Well, you as the tenant are perfectly entitled to you need to get landlord's consent, I might add, and that's probably a wise thing to do. But you can nonetheless, get permission to install some renewable energy technology on someone else's land, on their roof, or whatever. You might even be a resident in a residential block. And again, you as residents, you probably have a management company. You can get together and you can benefit from the tariffs. Large businesses may also, another issue that comes up in development terms, often there is a development that includes a number of different buildings. And there are some very good benefits to be had through taking that multi-building site and creating maybe an energy centre. It might have a biomass boiler, it might have a large wind turbine, but all of the residents of that development should be able to benefit from the income from the tariff and of course from the cheap electricity that you will generate. Now that can be done. You would need to set up a little ESCO in that development, a management company essentially, but that again can be very lucrative. Now these are all ideas we can help you with. So Ownergy is here to help people get on the right path towards achieving these goals and benefiting from the tariffs. I started my career on the Thames Barrier. I was concerned about rising floodwater levels. I planned to end my career doing exactly the same thing, trying to stop seawater levels going up. And I want to see renewable energy being rolled out in a major way across the country. It's a fantastic opportunity, and I don't see how anybody is going to lose out of this. So we would love to help you. We have an online process whereby, as a commercial organisation, if you just register your details with us, with an energy selector, we will produce a feasibility study for you, which will set out the technologies that we think will work on your particular property. We will identify the capital costs. In broad brush terms, we will also identify how much your income you will earn as a result of that investment. We then hope that you'll place an order with us and we'll go off and install the technology. But we would love to be able to help you. And of course, into the future, we will help you manage and maintain the level of tariff and the income that you generate. So thank you very much. I'll hand over now to